Good evening. Welcome in Daily UPSC Editorial audio program. MFG exports are the way ahead. The Economic Times. A black backsliding. The Hindu. MFG exports are the way ahead. The Economic Times. ASAP infra upgrade to boost manufacturing. India is attempting to put manufacturing on steroid just about the time the over dependence of China's growth on investment is coming into question. Foreign investment is establishing beachheads in India to manufacture for the world. The notable accomplishment has been Apple's decision to diversify its supply chain across Asia, including in India. New Delhi is eager that more manufacturing companies choose India as a production hub and and has offered investment sweeteners. The wait is on for the trickle of FDI to turn into a flood. Marquee names such as Tesla are being courted. Infrastructure is being created furiously to make the country hospitable to global manufacturing. This would appear to be a perilous course with the Chinese model showing up its limitations, but it is the only available course for India to become an upper middle income country over the next quarter century. Manufacturing share of economic output has been stagnating. Energy purchase creates persistent trade deficit, and services do not have the capacity to absorb excess labor from agriculture. Strong manufacturing exports solve all of these. Production capabilities on a global scale also get around constrained domestic consumption. Besides, India has fallen off its peak investment rate as credit looked up in dodgy lending was freed. Government of India is funneling an increasing part of household saving into infra to revive private investment. RBI has imposed preemptive curbs on runaway consumer borrowing. India can afford to rebalance some demand away from consumptions into investment, but it needs to exercise caution in overdoing it. The relation from China is social investment is as vital as physical investment for balanced growth. The immediate need is for an infrastructure upgrade to boost manufacturing. Down the line, the emphasis should switch to building an adequate social safety net that props up the consumption lower down the ladder. It's early days though for India, and it can concentrate on building its manufacturing superstructure. A backsliding. The Hindu curbs on financing of civil society bodies did not eroding civil liberties. Less than a year then suspending the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act (FCRA) license for the Center to Policy Research (CPR). The Government of India has cancelled its FCRA license. The justification for this move: CPR's publications have been equated with current affairs programming. Prohibited for an entity using FCRA funds is nothing if not farcical. As a premier think tank, the CPR has been around for more than half a century, during which it has been an exemplar of public spirited scholarship, feeding into an ecosystem of governance and policy making where multiple stakeholders and their often divergent interest needs consensus building through informed debates, the hallmark of a democracy. A decision to effectively shut down such an institution by crippling its finances is bound to send the message that India is no longer open to the free flow of knowledge and ideas. The move also fits into a broader and sadly by now all too familiar patterns of the state wielding the FCRA as a weapon to silence entities whose work is not to its liking. Typically, those working on environmental issues, civil liberties, and human rights. The of use of the FCRA to target civil societies for political or ideological reason is perhaps written into its DNA. The legislation is the child of the emergency enacted by the regime paranoid about governments interfering in India's internal affairs by channeling funds through NGOs. Since then, it has been amended by successive governments with the provisions becoming more stringent. When the latest round of amendments was passed in 2020, the International Commission of Jurists denounced it as incompatible with international law and warned that it would impose extraordinary obstacle on the capacity of civil society actors to carry out their important work. It appears as though the government has been working hard to prove the ICJ right even before dust could settle on the FCRA cancellation of CPR. World Vision India, which works with children, has had its FCRA cancelled. On the one hand, India seeks recognition as a Vishwaguru. Its calling card as the G20 host was mother of democracy. The government is hyper sensitive to rankings on international index, yet unwilling to acknowledge the link between perception and reality. When the US-based non-profit Freedom House in its democracy index downgraded India to an electoral autocracy, a reason it cited was erosion of civil liberties. Shutting off the finances of civil society organizations on flimsy ground is a textbook example of civil liberties erosion guaranteed to amplify the narrative of democratic backsliding. It would then be pointless to complain about biases and invoke conspiracies to tarnish India's image when these actions get reflected in India's downgrading in global index of freedom and democracy. Thank you.